The sound of the doorbell echoed through my empty house, a haunting cry on that cold Halloween night. I was all alone, left to confront the silence that filled the spaces, once vibrant with laughter and joy. It was my ex's turn to take our kids, Lily and Ben, trick-or-treating. Though I was trying to adapt to this new normal, the ache of their absence was suffocating. Each ring of the doorbell made my heart race, filled with hope of seeing my children's excited faces, their costumes bright and cheerful, overflowing with the joy of candy and laughter. But when I opened the door, I was met only by the chill of the night and the darkened porch. Confusion settled in. Surely it was just a prank, a fleeting echo of childhood mischief. But then, it rang again, slicing through the stillness like a knife. I rushed to the door, my hope mingling with dread, only to find the wind whispering eerily around me. The night seemed to hold its breath, and I shivered as I closed the door behind me, unease creeping in. As midnight approached, the pattern of the doorbell continued, each ring more ominous than the last. A growing sense of anxiety twisted in my gut, and a chill ran down my spine. Where were my children? Why hadn't their mother called? Panic surged through me as each chime deepened my fears. The next day, the air in town was thick with anxiety. News reports revealed a chilling truth. Children were missing, vanishing from the streets without a trace. My heart pounded as I heard the names, praying that Lily and Ben would not be among them. Relief washed over me when their names were not mentioned. But that relief was fleeting. Calls to my ex went unanswered, and a dark cloud of panic settled over me. Desperate, I drove to their house, my heart racing with fear. When I arrived, an unsettling silence hung in the air, as if the house itself was holding its breath. No laughter echoed through the halls. No signs of life greeted me, just a haunting quiet that made my heart ache. I pounded on the door, my voice trembling as I called out for my children, my desperation growing with each unanswered shout. The silence pressed in on me, heavy and suffocating. A sickening realization crept into my mind. Something was terribly wrong. In a burst of panic, I broke down the door, and what lay inside sent chills coursing through my veins. The house was empty, lifeless, as if time had stopped. My ex was gone, and the children's rooms lay untouched. Beds neatly made, toys perfectly arranged, as if waiting for a return that might never come. Suddenly, I remembered the doorbell ringing, the strange occurrences of the previous night. A cold dread settled in my heart. Had my children been trying to reach me? Where were they? Questions spiraled in my mind, fueled by fear and despair. The silence of the house echoed the void within me, a reminder of the life that once filled these walls. With trembling hands, I called the police, my voice barely a whisper as I reported my children and their mother missing. As I sat there, surrounded by silence and darkness, the doorbell rang once more, sending a shockwave of fear through me. I hesitated, my heart pounding loudly in my chest. As I reached for the doorknob, a cold shiver ran down my spine. I opened the door slowly, expecting nothing, only to find a small plastic bag on the doorstep. My breath hitched as I looked closer. Inside were a worn teddy bear that once belonged to Lily, and a superhero mask that was Ben's favorite. Tears streamed down my face as I clutched the items to my chest, feeling a piece of my heart break away. The night seemed to mock my pain, each shadow whispering memories of laughter and love that felt so far away now. Once again, the doorbell rang, and hope flickered within me like a dying flame. I rushed to answer, longing for my children's warm embrace. But once again, the porch stood empty, the cold wind wrapping around me like a shroud. The true terror didn't stem from monsters lurking in the dark. It was in the unbearable emptiness and uncertainty of their absence. Each ring of the doorbell became a haunting reminder of the life I once had, and each unanswered chime twisted the knife of despair deeper into my heart. Days turned into weeks, and still, There was no sign of Lily, Ben, or their mother. The police scoured every corner of the town, every crevice and shadow, yet their search bore no fruit. Every night I returned to my hollow home, the silence amplifying my anguish. The doorbell rang, and each sound seemed to echo the dread that had taken root in my soul. My heart raced as if it might burst, each ring pulling me deeper into a nightmare I couldn't escape. Whispers followed me everywhere. The townsfolk eyed me with suspicion, their glances filled with unspoken accusations. I felt the weight of their judgment, the air thick with blame, as the missing children became a dark cloud hanging over my life. I was becoming an outcast in my own community, haunted by the shadow of my children's disappearance. The real horror lay within the empty spaces of my heart, the fear that clawed at me relentlessly, a constant reminder of my loss. Every knock, every ring made my heart race, threatening to break as I was trapped in a waking nightmare. One night, while drowning in memories of laughter and warmth, the doorbell rang again. It was late, the clock striking midnight, and dread washed over me like icy water. I approached the door, my hands trembling as I reached for the knob, feeling the icy grip of fear tighten around my heart. I opened the door, my breath caught in my throat, only to find nothing but darkness and silence. Yet again, my heart sank. But this time I felt a strange pull to the corner of the porch. There, half hidden in the shadows, was a small plastic bag. My pulse quickened as I bent down to pick it up. Inside were two precious items, a worn teddy bear that once belonged to Lily and a superhero mask that was Ben's favorite. My heart shattered as I clutched them tightly, feeling the weight of their absence crush me. The doorbell rang once more, and with my heart in my throat, I rushed to answer it, clinging to the hope that my children would be standing there, smiling as they always did. But once again, the porch was empty, the cold wind mocking my longing. The true horror lay not in the disappearance of my children, but in the emptiness that filled my days and nights. I was trapped in a nightmare, reliving the torment of a parent's worst fear, a fear that had become my reality. And so, my life turned into a haunting tale of loss and despair. A horror story played out with each dreadful ring of the doorbell, echoing through the silence of my broken heart.